A very good morning, students. Today, as I have told you last day, that our discussion shall proceed to the next part of the first unit of advertising. So, related to the next part of the first unit of advertising, I have provided the notes in your WhatsApp group. I have also shared the link of this video in your WhatsApp group. Please ensure that you listen to my lectures while you prepare the notes. Well, today's discussion is about an advertising model. So, before we go to the details of the discussion, I believe that all of you are aware of the term model. I mean, all of you know what model means, because this is basically a term which I have frequently pointed out while taking the class of research methodology in your last semester. Well, if you can recall, while taking the class of research methodology, I told you that there is a basic distinction between theory and a model. But just to remind, when you speak about a theory, it is rather an explanation of a particular situation by the theorist. So, or you can say that when a theorist is exposed to a particular situation and he gains perception regarding the situation, there is a longing within the theorist to convert his perception into a construct and present it to his audience. So, when there is an explanation of a situation by the theorist needs to ensure that there is a use of an appropriate words by which he is able to explain. Or you can say that for a theory, articulation is very much important. That is not the case in case of a model, because when it is about a model, it is more about representation rather than explanation. Or you can say that it is more about depiction. So when it is more about depiction, it would be in the form of a flowchart that would connect some elements where the audience, when they view it, they will be able to figure out what the model is actually trying to portray. So this is basically the distinction between a theory and a model. Now, we have discussed, if you remember, in the last class, we have discussed advertising spiral. That can also be considered as an advertising model. So there is a similarity between the model that we have discussed in the last class, that is advertising spiral, and the model that we are going to discuss today, that is AIDA. AIDA is the model that is the topic of discussion today. The acronym AIDA stands for A for attention, I for interest, D for desire, and again A for action. Now, the basic difference between advertising spiral and AIDA is that AIDA is a hierarchical advertising model, whereas advertising spiral connected the elements in the form of a spiral. So when the elements are connected in the form of a spiral, you can expect that there will be some overlapping, or you can say that there will be some characteristics of a particular element that can be found in the other elements also. But that is not the case in case of a hierarchical advertising model, which AIDA is. And hierarchical advertising model would be quite distinct in their elements. That means it is not possible that a characteristic of a particular element would be shared by the other elements. Or you can say that unless and until a particular element is exhausted, you cannot move on to the next element. Just like Maslow's need hierarchy model, where Maslow has the theory basically points out, the Maslow's need hierarchy theory, that unless and until a lower level need is fully satisfied, an individual does not move on to a higher level need. Similar is the case with advertising hierarchical model. So with this preliminary understanding, I am sharing the screen with you. Please pay attention. So here it is. Now, as it is said, that the aim of advertising is to encourage the consumers to buy the offering of the company. So according to the AIDA model, a potential consumer goes through 4 phases while deciding whether to buy a product or not to buy a product. Now, these 4 phases basically correlates to the 4 phases of the AIDA model. The acronym, as I have told you, A for awareness or attention, I for interest, D for desire, and again A for action. Now, as I have told you that AIDA is a hierarchical advertising model, you can of course understand that all these elements are distinct, or you can say that unless and until an advertiser is able to evoke the attention within the consumer towards the product, the consumer will not create an interest for the product, or the advertiser will not be able to bring out an interest within the consumer for the product unless and until the attention is missing. This is what the model is basically representing. Now, the development of IDA model can be traced back to 1898, where there was a theorist called E. Lewis. Now, he was an advertising advocate. Now, he basically said that there are three parts for this formula of IDA. First is attract attention, then is maintain interest, and then is create desire. Later, he added another element, that is to bring out an action. So, Lewis' formula was soon applied in all areas of marketing. So, initially, Lewis' formula was confined to only negotiation with the salesman. But later it was found that this model can be applied in the different field, different areas of marketing. So soon the model became so popular that it was applied to different areas. And even today, IDA is one of the best known models of advertising research. So according to the model, advertisers have to achieve 4 communication goals. As I have told you, there are four elements, and each of the element, the advertiser has to achieve a goal. The advertiser has to achieve a communication goal. So to guide the potential consumers from the stage when they are first aware of the product, and then ultimately encouraging them to make their way to the purchase decision. Now, the first element is attracting the attention. Now, for an advertising message to be displayed to a potential consumer, the advertiser must attract the target group's customer. So the first phase of the IDA model is to activate the perception process. That means by attracting the attention, the perception process is activated. So how will you attract the attention? You can attract the attention by doing something which is contrasting in nature. Of course, you can understand that whenever an element is contrasting in nature, it would attract attention. For example, if you suddenly find that a student in the class has come wearing a very peculiar dress, then all the attention would move to him. So, of course, contrasting elements attracts attention. An element which is greater in size or more intense would also attract attention. For example, an intense odor, or you can say a high-pitched sound, will attract attention amongst the consumers. So therefore, it is said that a festival poster where the main headliner is emphasized in bold to make it eye-catching will attract attention. Advertisers make use of auditory elements also in TV and radio. In almost all the ad-supported audiovisual media, you will find that advertisements are played much more louder than the actual show. So when advertising is played, you will find that the volume increases a little bit. This is mainly because of the fact that the advertiser is trying to catch the viewer's attention. So once the attention or once the advertiser is successful in attracting the attention, then the purpose of the advertiser is to create and to maintain the interest. Or what can happen is that whatever attention has been attracted in the first phase could easily dissipate in the next phase. So as it is said here, that once the company has attracted the customer's attention, the next step is to get them interested and sustain this interest for a long term. So in this phase of decision making process, products and brands are presented. That means here basically the advertiser is trying to emphasize on the advantage of a particular brand over the other brands. So usage scenarios are basically shown to the users. The various ways to purchase the products are being introduced. You can say that the advertising goal in the second phase of the IDA model is achieved when the customer starts engaging themselves with the advertisement. That means in the first phase, when the attention was attracted, in the second phase, you can say that the advertising is successful when the audience is able to relate with the advertisement, and he is paying some or you can say that there is an interest to view the advertisement whenever it appears in the television or whatever media it is advertised. Next comes creating the desire. Often it is said that once the desire has been created, the purchase is inevitable. Desire would happen when the longing to purchase the product becomes intense, or you can say that the general interest develops into some concrete purchasing intent. So whenever there is a purchasing intent, it can be understood from the behavior of the consumers. You can say that the consumer would then search for different alternatives. The consumers would then ask, if say for example he is purchasing a very expensive product, then he will ask his neighbors, he will ask his relatives and his friends regarding the quality of the product. Here also, when there is a manifestation of the interest of the consumer in his action, the purchase has actually not taken place. So it is said that why the last element is being added in the IDA model, that is getting action, is that you cannot guarantee that the desire will convert into action. Although it is highly likely that when the longing of a particular consumer to purchase a product has become intense, then he will of course go and purchase it. But it is said that it cannot be guaranteed. Why not? Because there may be some obstacles, there may be some impediments in the form of, say for example, he is not finding the product, or he is not able to trace out the store from where he can purchase the product. This can be an obstacle. Probably the product is you know if the consumer has to purchase the product, he has to use a particular mode of payment which he is not actually acquainted with, or he is not familiar with. He rather uses another mode of payment. Say for example, if you have to purchase the product, you have to pay by using Google Pay, but you are using Paytm. Then what will happen? The desire will evaporate. The desire will not actually convert into action. So it is said that the advertiser needs to ensure that the action is actually performed, or the advertiser needs to perform, the advertiser needs to convert the desire into action. So how does an advertiser do so? Now, if advertisers have succeeded in creating the demand for the goods or services, this should lead to an action, as I have told you. Now, it seems that the interested party should ultimately buy the advertised product or use the offered service. Now, advertising which aims to initiate action should include a call to action. Now, often what happens is that there may also be a delay. The desire is created, but the consumer is looking for an appropriate time. Or say, for example, he is thinking that probably in the next month when I get the salary, I will purchase the product. So you need to bring out a prompt action from the consumer. So for that, the advertiser needs to adopt call to action. Now, what is call to action? Such as these sort of statements: order Bluetooth headphones now. See, this is basically a statement where the use of the Bluetooth or the benefits of the Bluetooth are not being highlighted. It is only a statement which is in the form of bringing out an action amongst the consumers. That means it is saying that you need to order the Bluetooth headphones now. Now order a particular mobile and you will save up to 20%. These are the statements which are calling for an action from the consumer, because the advertiser wants to bring out the prompt action from the consumer. So this is how we have come to an end of this discussion. I hope that you have enjoyed it, because you need to engage yourself with the discussion also. You need to read different books. I often tell you that the notes that I supply is just an enabler for you to understand. It is not that you have to memorize the notes that I give only. You can refer to different books. In fact, it is better that if you refer to different books. So I hope that I have been able to invigorate an interest within you to study the model IDA further. So you will refer to different books, you will study about it, you will also read some cases related to that. Anyways, and I also hope that you will be done with the preparation of this notes 2 or 3 days down the line. That would be the time when I'll come up with the next part. of the first unit of advertising. So till then, have a good time. Thank you very much.